Ghost leader Tobias Forge is certainly a major fan of Metallica. He has cited them as one of his favorite bands in numerous interviews, and the feeling is mutual. We've seen videos of Metallica performing covers of Ghost in their tuning room, and also members of Metallica have shared the affection in various interviews. Well, now the fine folks over at Metal Hammer have spoken with Tobias in advance of Ghost supporting Metallica on their upcoming European tour, and they asked him to compile his dream Metallica set list. We're going to go through that here in just a second, but while we're at it, we'd love to see your dream Metallica set list in the comments down below. Of course, Tobias starts off with the ever so present intro of The Ecstasy of Gold. The first song opening for Metallica's set is Battery. He says, "It is such a great opener. They'd play it as they did on the Master of Puppets tour. The intro is recorded and they'd arrive and launch into that riff." Song number 2 would be Creeping Death. He says, "They used to open with this a lot, and I'm sticking it in the set early. They've not played it as much recently, so I'm bringing it back." Song number 3 is Of Wolf and Man. He says, "I'm not sure they play this very often, but I love it, especially that howling midsection. That's a great crowd participation part." Song number 4 is Sanitarium. He says, "They've put this in the set for years. It works brilliantly after Of Wolf and Man as a cleanser." And he says, "As we're about to go into a Ride the Lightning extravaganza." Song number 5 is Fight Fire with Fire. Song number 6 is Ride the Lightning. Song number 7 is For Whom the Bell Tolls. Song number 8 is Fade to Black. He says, "This is a very special part of the set, playing side A of Ride the Lightning in full, culminating in Fade to Black, which brings the place down a little, but it's a really important song in Metallica's career. It showed even that early they were willing to go places that their peers were not." Song number 9 is Blackened. He says, "I'm not the biggest fan of And Justice for All, but I wanted to have this in there, and this would just lift the place up again." Song number 10, Until It Sleeps. He said, "I really didn't like the more rock and roll and blues-based material that Metallica went on to do, so I've kept quite far away from that period, but even I have to admit that this is a brilliant song, even though it's from an album that I'm really not a fan of." Song number 11 is One. Says, "I've created a very specific set list that leans heavily on the period of Metallica I have the most fondness for, namely the first 5 albums." Song number 12 is Master of Puppets. This is the last song of the main portion of their set. He says this would end the first part of the set on a high. We're going out with 2 true heavy metal classics here. And for the encore, it's a 3-song encore, ladies and gentlemen. Number 13 is Am I Evil? He says, "At this point, Am I Evil is basically a Metallica song. It's also very important to show Diamond Head's influence on Metallica." Song number 14 is Last Caress. He says, "This has been a very dark and doomy Metallica set, so I wanted to have a brighter and more fun song," which this is obviously despite the lyrical content. And then last, but certainly not least, the one that many of you probably noticed was missing is Inner Sandman. He says, "The all-time greatest banger you can have. You can say whatever you like, but you can't argue with this song." And indeed, you cannot. Anyways, you can catch Ghost opening up for Metallica on the European tour. Let us know in the comments if any of you plan on attending those European Metallica dates. If you're lucky enough to see such a lineup, you are very, very lucky, and your friends over in the States are jealous that we're not getting that same lineup. Anyhow, don't forget to check out these recommended videos and hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking hard rock and heavy metal news. Thanks as always for joining us here at Rockfeed, and we will catch you guys very, very soon.